tuning into WBRJ 23. I'm your news anchor, Rael Morris, and today I will take you on a road trip on how imperialism led to tensions between European countries. Social Darwin.
It's 2:30 something.
Is the belief that only the strong cultures can survive and flourish. Social Darwinism applied to a social context too. It provided a justification for more unfair form of capitalism in which workers were paid sometimes pennies a day for back-breaking labor. Social Darwinism also justified big businesses' referral to acknowledge labor unions and similar organizations and implied that rich may not donate money to the poor or less fortunate since people were less fit anyway. The men in this image tie into imperialism. They all are tugging for a piece of Africa. The British wanted South Africa from Boers. Social Darwinism also ties into the white man's burden as pictured above. The white man's burden was like a weight that they carried on their back like a burden. They thought it was their job to carry other races because it was the right thing to do. Back again on WBRJ 23 with a flashback of the Boer War. The Boer War was a cultural resentment between the Boers and the British, which began as an uprising of the British against the Boer government. Here today we have Lord Kitchener presenting the view from the war.
Hello, Rio.
Hello.
Well, I must say, as Chief of Staff in South Africa, I intentionally wanted to harm the Boers. I even expanded successful strategies by Robert to crush the Boers by destroying border farms, and moving citizens into concentration camps.
Why did you intentionally harm the Boers?
Because, as the British, we were superior to the Boers. It was my burden as a white man to lead captives in the way they should go and to carry them into our leadership.
What a point of view. Thank you, Mr. Kushner. Now let's hear from Paul Kushner. Now let's hear from Paul Cougar.
Hello, thank you, Rael, and the WJRB 23 staff. Well, in the Boer War, I was the leadership over the Boers. After receiving military equipment from Germany, we had a series of success on the border of Cape Colony.
How did this influence tensions later in the Boer War?
Because it gave Britain the view that they had the upper hand over us.
Well, did the Boers encounter some more problems to follow?
Yes, shortly after, the British took control over the Boer capital on June the 5th.
Thank you, Mr. Cougar. The Boer War ended with the signing of the Treaty of Darwinism in May 1902. As a reporter, I looked in the view of the historian Fred R. Hartzevelt. Mr. Hartzevelt was a Boer War historian. His perspective was very interesting. Sadly, Mr. Hartzevelt could not be here today, but he shared his opinion with our newscast that the Boer War is not an altogether satisfactory product.
Party rock!
Put your
I'm shuffling.
Now we'll uncover Moroccan Crisis 1 with Mr. Fraser Wilhelm. Hello, Mr. Wilhelm.
Hello, ma'am.
Mr. Wilhelm, what do you think about the triple entree between France and Britain?
I didn't really think that friendship would last. And honestly, the treaty posed a threat to us Germans. If France and Britain joined forces, they would imperialize more countries than us. They could easily overpower us.
Really? Interesting. So you made the speech in 1905 on March the 31st.
In Morocco, I spoke for their independence because I knew having Moroccans fighting against the French would make it harder for them to imperialize it. You see, Britain and Spain gave Morocco to the French. I wanted to see if Britain would even support France through the situation.
Nope.
What was your main goal?
To break that treaty.
What about the Algiers Conference?
At that conference, every country sympathized France except for Austria-Hungary and us Germans. They put France in charge of the Moroccan finances.
Why did you give it to the powers of Europe?
Germany was the bigger country. We did the right thing. We're the bigger person.
A very interesting story, Mr. Wilhelm. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Good. Moving on to the Moroccan Crisis 2. Today with us we have speaking Mr. George David.
Hello.
David George.
Hello.
Hello.
You can call me David. It's okay.
Oh, okay, thank you. Well, Mr. George, can you tell us about the Moroccan Crisis 2?
Yes, I will. Well, on July 1st, 1911, German bought gunboat Petherin at Moroccan in the port of Angardar. They sought territory compensation from France, which they controlled the North African kingdom. Then Germany attempted to suppress my naval supremacists. They tried to get us into alliance with Andar.
Interesting. Okay. So, is that what caused the breakout of the war?
Yes, the British supported France. National honor is more important than peace.
Well, why is Britain more likely to win in your opinion?
Well, we are the most fitted race because we have more sources like gunpowder and a larger army with resources that other countries will not be able to have. We was able to get more sources and expand our territory if we get the land.
Thank you, Mr. George.
Thank you.
In conclusion, today we have taken a road trip on how imperialism has led to tensions between European countries. We showed how different European countries turn territory into competition of the fittest, resulting in tensions of European powers. We have heard veterans in the Boer War and key individuals in Moroccan Crisis 1 and 2. Well, thank you for tuning into WBRJ 23. Good night. How different European countries turn territory into competition of the this is difficult. We have showed different I can't see the words.
Shima, why are you walking so far back? You're supposed to be close to me like this.
Can we retake?
To lead the captives.
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 Oh, you idiot.
Go.
Well, thank you for tuning into WBRJ 23. Good night. Oh, crap.
Go.
Well, thank you for tuning into WBRJ 23. Good night.
Your head in my face.
Go.
Well, thank you for tuning into WBRJ 23. Good night.
Your big head all up in my face.
Hi, Gemma!
Hey, girl.
Hi, audience. How you doing? I said, who is the historian?
She's gonna have to cut it off so
It doesn't matter. Just keep going.
I don't know where to go. It's like keep going. Where do you don't even know where you
Say
are.
the analysis.
The analysis. Where's the analysis?
Oh, the ball. Boy, I get analysis. I'm trying to figure that out. I'm trying to
Well,
figure
come on, we
it
should have
out.
wrote it so we got it in front of the camera.
I